Yeah, I know. I was just making my coffee and I saw you make your coffee, and I know it's a little bit off guard, but I have questions for a busy product owner such as yourself. And I'm not giving you the choice, so let's go!
Wow, legit interview.
Yeah, we don't kid around here. I'm gonna start things pretty easy. Can you just give me an elevator pitch of what a product owner does?
So a product owner is mainly someone who's worried about the how of a product. They have to translate to everybody in the team how to make that product. They have to maximize the value that the product brings, and they always manage the backlog of all the ideas and the features that everyone involved in the product is pushing ideas to.
I still feel like people have a skewed idea of what you do. So I have a question. Is there a misconception or something that you've always had to clarify about what you do?
Yeah, there are many misconceptions around the role of a product owner. Some people think that a product owner should be someone who's an expert in the field. For example, if your product is about health, then the product owner must be a doctor. And this is not the case, because it should be someone who knows how to do products, someone who can imply the how. Now, if there are trade-offs that need to be done in a product, if the development team says we cannot do this because we have this impediment, a doctor cannot decide what to do. It has to be someone who's skilled with making products that can decide. If it happens to be that they have good experience in health, then they will be a stronger product owner on that product, definitely. But it's not a requirement.
I feel like there's a lot of juggling to be done.
Yeah.
So it must be a lot.
Definitely.
Between business, between development, between your team.
Yeah. Speaking of misconceptions, some people might think that you have to have a technical background or a design background or a certain background. They all serve the product owner, but it's not a requirement for a product owner as well.
Speaking of that, I hear that you've done a product psychology course or...
Yeah, actually, I took a course. It's called Product Psychology Masterclass. It's by Growth Design. It was really pretty interesting.
I'm sure that it served a lot in terms of how the user thinks, how you would like to incorporate all of the... I've read some of the rules that they have, confirmation bias or stuff like that.
Yeah.
That just makes the user experience so much easier to tackle. So that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense. It's like people see the tip of the iceberg, but not everything that implies being a product owner. Speaking of juggling, how do you manage all of your competing priorities with the different projects that you have with different stakeholders as well? I mean, that must feel so overwhelming to tackle.
Yeah, it is actually something hard to manage. But I think the key action here is to put yourself in the shoe of everyone, stakeholders, developers, understand their perspective and what they go through. And you have to pick the right battles, because you're trying, as a product owner, you're at the middle, you're being pulled into different directions. Product leads and stakeholders, they need something, and the development team needs something else. And you're just there, God knows what you need.
Being pulled from every direction.
Yeah, and you have to satisfy both. So it really takes to think of the product and how you can maximize value while doing less and focusing on keeping everyone's need met to a certain extent.
So you need a degree of empathy as a product owner.
Definitely.
To manage
a lot of empathy.
But Edgar, with so much going on, apart from the feedback that you have, how do you actually measure success? What's the thing that makes you go, I nailed this one?
It's difficult to answer because it really depends on the role that you are playing. So if you're just a product owner, your success comes from having the product do what it needs to do in order to satisfy the why and the what that the product lead or the product manager sets.
Okay.
But if you're also a product manager, then
which is your case.
Which is my case. It's not enough that you meet the what and why that is implied by the product manager. You have more metrics to meet. You have to increase the engagement, lower the churn rate, increase the acquisition rate. You have more things to worry about. Basically, if the product owner is busy with the how, the product manager is more busy with the what and why. I'm also a project manager on certain projects. If you want to know what they do, then they are more worried about the how well and when we can deliver this.
I love how you put them in terms of like how, why, when, like those 5 really basic elemental questions. What's one thing that really caught you off guard in your career, that you were seeing a different way and that you realized was not at all what you were actually thinking?
Maybe I'll answer this as a product manager, not as a product owner.
Sure. I think then we need to that sounds more accurate.
You often hear that the product manager is the CEO of a product. It's not really that, because you cannot make so many decisions on your own. You have a lot to take into consideration.
For people who want to start out as a product owner or as a product manager, would you have any piece of advice you'd want to give them?
Like in everything, maybe. If you're not passionate about music, you cannot become a musician.
True.
You know, even if you practice a lot. I feel like a product owner should have empathy. They should be problem solvers. They should be storytellers. They know how to tell a story, because it's all about writing user stories, right? So, and they have to be excellent communicators.
But I also feel like product owners need to be able to see things from a different point of view. Yeah. They need to be able to always have this thirst, like to discover more, to dig a little deeper. I feel like this is also very important, because every time I worked with you, I always noticed that you take the problem and you look at it from 100 different ways to see which one is the best. Yeah. Can you walk us through, I don't know, the pitfalls actually that you've experienced as a product owner or manager?
Yeah, you might work on something that you don't really believe in. And sometimes you might really be excited about the feature, and it might be based off research, but users might have told you something else, and you end up pushing a feature that nobody uses. So that's bad for you and bad for the development team, because they don't get to see the fruit of their work.
Yeah. Is there a book that inspired you that we can recommend our viewers to read?
Yeah, actually, there's a book that I've just finished reading recently. It's called Mastery by Robert Greene.
Yeah.
I'm more of an article guy more than a book. I read lots of articles basically on Medium. It's actual people, not always writers, that are expressing their experiences. So it gives me a wider perspective than reading what one author says for hundreds of pages.
Now let's add some little fun to our conversation. I've prepared a little lightning round. You need to be able to answer very fast. The first 5 or 6 are this or that, and then the second is for you to give an answer, okay? 3, 2, 1. Agile or waterfall?
Agile.
Scrum or Kanban?
Kanban.
Front end or back end?
Front end.
Remote or office?
Office.
Emails or calls?
Emails, definitely.
Morning meetings or afternoon meetings?
Afternoon.
Ready for round 2?
Yep.
Favorite tech stack?
iOS.
Top skill for a product owner?
Storytelling.
One word to describe your team?
Initiative taker.
Latest trend tech you're excited about?
AI.
Biggest challenge in your current project?
Finding product market fit.
I have one last question. What's the product that you've been enjoying working on the most? Which industry does it belong to? And what made it or makes it so special for you?
It's a career development product. I like it because we use it in-house. So it's also solving a problem for me, because I use that product. What was nice about this project is it was the first time for me that I played one role only. I was only a product owner on that project. So I got to fully experience that role. I got to draw the line between all the different roles I play on other projects. And it worked out really well. I got along really well with the project manager, with the designers. We did not step on each other's foot. So So it was great. It was a nice experience.
I can't wait for the newer version.
Yeah.
Edgar, thank you so much for your time.
Sure,
I'm sure that our viewers were really happy to see your perspective on things. Thank you for enlightening us about product ownership and product managers in general. And we'll see you for the next time. I hope you liked your coffee too, by the way.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks.